Good evening, everyone. My name is Fakhri. I'm the UN Special Rapporteur on the right to food. So what I'm going to do is explain what that means and why I'm here today. So what that means is I'm an independent human rights expert with the UN. I'm the UN's leading expert on the right to food. My mandate comes from the Human Rights Council. And I'm independent. I'm not the UN. So another way to think about my job is I'm the eyes, ears, and sometimes good conscience for the entire UN system on all matters regarding hunger, famine, and malnutrition. And what I've done is I've tracked what's been going on in Gaza since October. Since October 9th. Because on October 9th, Israel announced its starvation campaign. It announced its intent to starve 2.3 million Palestinians in Gaza. And from that moment, I had to follow what was going on. And I just presented my report to the UN General Assembly this past October, where I focused on starvation, but emphasized the Palestinian people's food sovereignty and the right to food. And so I'm going to share with you what I've been learning from my experiences, from my work within the UN, from my conversations with heads of government, from parliamentarians, ambassadors, people in Gaza, people in the West Bank, Palestinian refugees around the world. And I'm going to provide some of the context to what Zena explained to you of what's going on. Context to UNRWA's work and Israel's starvation campaign. What we are seeing in Gaza today is the fastest starvation campaign in modern history. We have never seen so many people starve so quickly and so completely. So if Israel announced its intent to starve 2.3 million Palestinians on October 9th, by December, every single person was going hungry. And remember, the majority of people in Gaza are children. So when people ask me, how do you know it's genocide? How do you know it's starvation? The answer is, Israel's telling us, and they're doing it, and we're seeing the effects. So in my role as the UN Special Rapporteur on the right to food, with several other colleagues, we were the first to call it genocide within weeks in October 2023. And we still have to say what it is. This is why the Amnesty Report on Genocide is important. The International Court of Justice said there's a risk of genocide. But to say it's genocide, the part that frustrates me is, well, we keep creating these terms that describe death. Genocide, ecocide, domicide. We keep having to invent ways of describing death. And yet what we're also seeing is people are alive. People are living. They are sending their kids to school, even after they're burnt down. They have to feed their families. They have to come together for holidays and celebration. They have to pray together. Life continues. And we have to find ways of expressing life. And I think that's part of the reason we're here today is life is continuing, and you are part of that. And so, what's astounding to me is I've been yelling within the UN system for, what is it now, over a year. No amount of statistics and stories, no images of horror, no description of death has been enough to end the genocide and stop the starvation conducted by Israel against the Palestinian people. The UN is doing nothing to actually stop this. But here I am describing what's not happening. What we're also witnessing is the largest mobilization globally in support of Palestinian people in ways we've never seen. This is the largest wave of solidarity we've seen for the Palestinian people in generations. So we know where things are not working, but we also know where things are working. And it's people like you coming together like we've come together tonight. Israel is not only attacking Gaza, it is attacking the Palestinian people as a people. Record rates of violence in the West Bank. And the attack against UNRWA is an old fight. Israel's been after UNRWA for years, and they've now passed this legislation as part of their starvation campaign. What better way to starve civilians than to undermine the leading UN agency that provides humanitarian relief, that's integrated into everyday Palestinian life. And as you heard from Zena, every UN agency realizes and understands that UNRWA is crucial. That Knesset legislation is a death sentence. It is intentional. It is part of genocide and starvation. Israel is not only attacking the Palestinian people writ large, it's attacking the UN itself. We have never seen so many UN staff killed in any war since the UN was created, as we are witnessing as of today. We have never seen, as I said, so many people starved so quickly than as we see today. So, Israel is killing UN staff at record rates. Israel has declared the Secretary General of the United Nations persona non grata, meaning they do not recognize him and will not welcome him, and will not meet with him, and will not speak with him. The UN will attack Security Council resolutions and International Court of Justice decisions before the decisions are even made. They attack independent human rights experts. They attack us personally and professionally. And they are shooting at UN peacekeepers in southern Lebanon. Israel is attacking the entire UN system. That's what's at stake here. They are attacking everybody. And this is what I heard ambassadors say in New York, from countries from all over the world. We had a meeting where over 30 ambassadors were present. And they said, with Israel attacking the UN, Israel is attacking the world. That's what's at stake. And the reason it's been so difficult to get Israel to stop its genocidal campaign and to stop the starvation of Palestinian people is because of the United States' government support. If the United States stopped supplying money and weapons today, this would all stop. The United States is the largest supplier of military aid and weapons to Israel, and always has been. And we've seen it doesn't matter, it turns out, what administration is running the show. But we've also seen this past election year a shift in American politics. More and more Americans are realizing how complicit the American government has been. More and more Americans have realized how their tax dollars have been supporting genocide and starvation. So we are, just as we are in a moment of horror, we are in a profound moment of solidarity. Supporting UNRWA, then, is not just about humanitarian relief. It's a commitment to international law and to justice. Supporting UNRWA is not just a humanitarian organization, and Zena described how crucial it is. It's an employer. It's one of the largest employers in the occupied Palestinian territories. Approximately 30,000 people are employed by UNRWA. Think how many people those individuals support. So if a Palestinian family on average is 5 people. But of course, if you have a steady public sector job, you're taking care of your extended family. So to cut off UNRWA is part of the starvation campaign. It's to undermine the livelihoods of working Palestinians. And this is the long-term strategy, why there's been a long campaign against UNRWA. As Zena told you, it was the agency created because of the Nakba, the catastrophe. When Israel was created. From the beginning, in the founding documents of UNRWA, was the concern and the risk of starvation. From the beginning, the creation of Israel was a threat to the food security of Palestinians. The state of Israel, since its creation, has been using food as a weapon for over 70 years against the Palestinian people, uprooting their olive trees, destroying their orchards, of course displacing them. We know this. Food has always been weaponized, and now it's at profound rates. And at the core of UNRWA is the right to return. Every refugee in the entire world has the right to return to their home and to their territory. UNRWA holds the property deeds of many refugees. It is an archive. To undermine UNRWA is an attempt to erase the Palestinian people and to obliterate the right to return. That's what's at stake here.